Howdy folks, it's Richie here, and look what I have up on the screen. Yes, that's right, Star Wars: The Old Republic. I've been in the beta test, but the NDA was just lifted today, so now I can finally show you some stuff. This is the Galactic Republic side. I'm going to show you character creation, race, and class options, and go through that. I will also be making an Empire side as well. So let's get started. Alright, here we go. We are on the Republic side. And on the bottom of the screen, you will notice that there are 4 options. Okay, we have 4 different classes. We're going to be going through the different race and class combinations, showing you a couple different random images of what they might look like. So let's get started. Jedi Knight is first, and the first species is human. Let's take a look at what they might look like.
I will face down all darkness in the galaxy.
Okay, so the female human. Different looks, hairstyles, skin tones. Okay, you can notice there's a bunch of different sliders here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you know, there's a decent amount of character customization. It's pretty robust.
The Jedi's limits must always be put to the
now,
test.
One thing I want to point out is the body type slider. On the males especially, this actually has a pronounced this has a pronounced effect on what your character will look like. So for example, if you go all the way over here, you can see this guy's very kind of thin, kind of scrawny, and if you go to the next body type, it's kind of Mr. Average, Mr. Normal, and then you've got the big buff, you know, football player type or basketball player type, and then you got the guy who ate a couple of too many cheeseburgers. Yeah, 5 guys right here. All right, so you can see that even if you choose the same race and the same gender, people can look fairly different just based on that body type option. Unfortunately, on the female side, it doesn't have as much of an impact.
I dedicated my life to serving
4
others.
different body types here. Kind of have like anorexic, not as anorexic, kind of tall, and yeah, I don't know. Not too different here. But anyway, that's what the humans look like. Alright, we'll go to the next race. That can be a Jedi Knight. Alright, and that's the Mirluka. That's an interesting race.
Helping others is both a duty and an honor.
They are pretty much look human, except for they don't have eyes. They actually are on a planet. They were born on a planet that evolved with very little light, and they actually have no use for eyes, so they don't have any. But they wear these, coverings over their face so they can fit in with actual humans. And they see by, because they're Force attuned. They are very strong with the Force, and therefore can be Jedi Knights, and it's kind of neat. So that's the female side.
The Jedi's limits must always be put to the test.
Side. So you can see, you get to choose a lot of different coverings for your face. Some of them ornate, some of them kind of plain. Alright, one thing to point out is when I'm going through these different options,
I've dedicated my life to serving others.
They actually say something when you select them. Like,
I've dedicated my life to serving others.
And that's giving you a little bit of a sneak peek at what the voiceover will sound like if you select that character. And it's important because this whole game is voiced, and when you're doing dialogue in quests or even in flashpoints or wherever you are, you will actually be hearing your character speak, just like a typical BioWare game. So your voice choice is based on the race and class you select. You don't get to choose what your voice sounds like. You get to choose your race and class, and that comes with a packaged voice. It would have been nice to have a whole bunch of different voice options, but that would have been very expensive and time-consuming to create all the different voiceovers for all the different combinations. So this is what you get. Alright, so this is a very popular race, Twi'lek. Let's take a look at what they look like.
Jedi's limits must always be put to the test.
Brain tails. They're called Leku. And they're kind of a status symbol among these people. You can see their skin tones, very varied, different colors, different patterns on them.
May the Force be with you.
Okay, here's the male side. I like the big guys on this side. Give us a kiss. No thanks. Alright, and then we have the Zabrak. Now the Zabrak are also on the
Helping
Empire
others is both a
side.
duty and an
It's
honor.
kind of like Darth Maul's race, but on the Republic side, they are more tan and brown skinned, whereas you'll see when on my Empire video, that's where you get the more demonic red and black look to them. So these are the females.
Helping others is both a duty and an honor.
Okay, here's what some of the males look like. And they have different horn sliders and hair sliders. So for example, you can just change their horns around. Okay. I think we have one more. Yep. We have the Miralin. These guys are green
I've dedicated
skins,
my life to serving others.
and they have tattoos. Tattoos is a big part of their culture. When they achieve some accomplishment or some level of skill, they put a tattoo on their face to signify that they have gained that skill. So it's kind of like a status symbol. The more tattoos they have, the more skilled they are, or maybe how long they've lived.
May the Force be with you.
Just some different options there. They can be kind of like light yellow to green. You won't like me when I'm angry. Alright, so that's it for the Jedi Knight. And we'll go to the second Jedi class. This is the Jedi Consular. Right, the Jedi Consular is more force power oriented. They have a lightsaber as well, but they focus more on their force powers, whereas the Jedi Knight is more martial based. Alright, let's take a look. I believe, yeah, they're all the same races here. So I'll just do a couple click-throughs like this. Alright, so here's the humans. So I'll click in so you can hear their voices.
Force will guide me.
Alright, it's the female human.
On the word of myself and my order.
Okay. Now it'll be the same voice for all the different races. You'll see.
Force will guide me.
Okay, so I'll just do a couple quick click-throughs. Really, the only, you can have the same customizations because you've seen these races already, just that the robe is different than what the Jedi Knight was wearing. So again, there you go. And the Miraluka. Alright. The third class is the Smuggler. Alright, yep, this is like Han Solo. You can even see they start you off with the white shirt with the black vest, as paying homage to that popular character. Alright, so we'll start with the human and we'll listen to the voice.
I don't take orders from anybody.
I think I talked over that.
I can see things your way. For the right money.
I could charm the horns off a crate dragon.
Okay, so they could be Twi'lek. There's a couple of those. Alright, here's a race we haven't seen. This is the Cyborg. This is
planning to
basically
live
human,
forever anyway.
but they've
I'm in.
gone through and gotten some cybernetic implants. And you can see you have a cybernetic slider here where you can kind of customize where your cybernetics are on your face. For the most part, it's a human. So all you 7 to 9 fanboys can make your board character here. Alright, on the male side.
I could charm the horns off a crate dragon.
Okay, so there's a cyborg. And the other two, Zabrak and the Miralin. Okay, they cannot be Miraluka, the blind guys, or the no-eyed guys. It's a force race. Okay, and the last class on the Republic side is the Trooper. They're kind of like the heavy armored folk, use big guns. And they have the same choices, except for they cannot be Twi'lek. So they've got human. Let's listen to their voiceover.
Now you'll see how Havoc Squad gets things done.
sign.
I'm a soldier. I'll get the job done. I'll get the job done.
Okay, but you've seen what these races look like. Just real quick. It could be human, Zabrak, Cyborg, and Marilyn. All right, and something people might ask is, why can't we be Wookiees? And obviously Wookiee is a very, very popular race in the Star Wars universe, but this game is so focused on voiceover and the actual story, and you get to play your character and hear your character, that it just wouldn't work well if every dialogue choice you had for when you're talking to other people was some variation of it just wouldn't work well. So maybe in the future they'll find a way to include Wookiees as a playable class. One of the companions that you can get, like kind of like a friend to your character that you can kind of control and is a part of your story. One of them is a Wookiee. You'll see Wookiees in the game, but you cannot create your character as a Wookiee. So sorry if that disappoints you, but I think it makes sense why they did that. Now, the last thing I want to point out is there are only 4 classes. But there are advanced classes. When you hit level 10, you get to specialize based on what base class you have, and you got 2 paths to go down. So for example, the Jedi Knight can become a Jedi Guardian or a Jedi Sentinel at level 10. And if you look over on the left, it gives you a little description. The Jedi Guardian can spec into a tank role, where they're going to absorb damage and be in, like, controlling the mobs, or they can have a damage spec where they're just trying to deal damage. That's a heavy armored spec, and they use a single lightsaber. Alright, the Jedi Sentinel is only damage dealing. This is a dual wielding lightsaber, just menace, just melee combatant that just is focused totally on dealing as much damage with those twin lightsabers as possible. And they are a medium armor class. No! Okay, so the Jedi Consular, at level 10, you can pick between the Jedi Sage and the Jedi Shadow. The Jedi Sage can have a healing role, or they can choose a damage role. Alright, they use a single lightsaber, and they are light armored. The Jedi Shadow is also light armored. They use a double-bladed lightsaber, and they can be a tank or a damage dealer. Now, it's kind of interesting that the Jedi Shadow can actually be a tank, even though they only use light armor. So I guess they use their force powers and whatnot for protection. It's kind of neat. And you can also see, like, right away, they were smart. They made, in MMOs, tanks and healers are scarce, but here, Jedi Knight and Jedi Consular are going to be very popular classes, and they can be healers and tanks all over the place here. So hopefully that'll help combat that problem. Alright, we have the Smuggler next. They can become Gunslingers at level 10 or Scoundrels. Alright, the Gunslinger is a total damage class. They use 2 blaster pistols, wear medium armor. And the Scoundrel, medium armor as well. They use a blaster pistol and a scatter gun. They can have a damage spec, but interestingly enough, they can actually perform a support role and they can heal. Alright, they have a med pack and a little med droid and, like, flies around and heals people. It's kind of cool. So those are the 2 advanced classes for the Smuggler. Last up, we have the Trooper. Advanced classes. This is a heavy armored class, both specs, all specs on both sides, heavy armor. The Commando can be a healer or a damage dealer, and they use assault cannons as their weapon of choice. And the Vanguard is a tank or damage, and they use a blaster rifle. Alright, there you have it. The characters on the Republic side of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to have an annotation somewhere up here when my Empire video goes up, so you can click over there and check out the races and classes on the Empire side. I will also be doing some walk-through videos of my experiences on the beta test, so stay tuned for those as well. If you want to be notified when any of these videos are released, please click the subscribe link so you can be notified. And if you have any questions or comments about what you want to see or anything about what you're seeing, please post them in the comments field below. Alright, give me a thumbs up, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Richie Procopio or on Google Plus at gplus.to/pogotter. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.